Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon. So today we'll create, like there are a few things like you should know apart from basic material and all. Like there is a water system in Unreal which is already there. Like it's a preset which is already there in Unreal. You don't have to create. Previously we used to create materials manually for water. Now you can just simply drag drop and generate it. So like, because like maybe it's not used in your project as of now, maybe in future you'll use. So these are like very simple things you should know. Mode, landscape, and like last time we have created that landscape, right? So I just let me create a basic landscape. But in this landscape, suppose I want to use water, that inbuilt water system. For that, I have to make sure there's something called enable edit layers. This is something I need to enable it. Otherwise, it won't work. Just enable it and create. Creating, let's see, let's create something. Just creating some simple, very basic, simple landscape. And erosion. With erosion, it becomes a little more sharper and angles. Nice. Because that's what it does. You can create this landscape very easily. You can see those like nice, rough and sharp edges and all of a mountain cliff. So okay, that is something we can do it very easily. The basic setup, okay, I created this thing. Now I want to create that water thing. So how do I do it? So I have to go back to my select mode, and then left side is place actors. I have to search for it. So I'll search for water. So maybe in your system, if you search it, you won't find this, because by default, this particular plugin is not activated. So what you have to do is there's something called settings plugins. If you go here and search for water and make sure this water droplet you see, enable this. The moment you enable, it will ask you to restart your engine. So restart your Unreal Engine, and then if you search for water, you will find this option. Otherwise, you won't find it. So this is something you have to keep in mind. You first enable it in a plugin, then generate a landscape and make sure switch on the layer editing option. Enable that, and then you can place actor. You can search for a water. You can see I have a water island. I have like a water body, lake, ocean, river. All these things are there. Let's see. I'll drag drop ocean here. I just drag drop this ocean. So you can see my landscape changed, and plus the entire scene looks blue. And it's kind of a spline. And this is, I can modify. Click on the spline, push it outside, push it outside. This also, push it outside. Make sure there is no gap between the landscape and your this thing. That this orange outline you see, this is basically the area where this water going to affect. Still compiling. Let it compile. Still compiling. This material compiling is one of the like biggest like time consuming thing in Unreal. Let me convert all the lights and everything into movable so that all this like light baking options will go. It won't show me those errors. Compile quickly. So next next week Wednesday is your last submission for file submission day for your environment one. Then we'll start from next week. We'll start from environment two. So before that, all this like extra thing, those things you should know. I'll explain all this different parameters and things like what you can use and generate good details without doing a lot of stuff. And make sure you install Quixel Bridge in your system, because in environment 2 will be using a lot of a Quixel Bridge materials and textures. And to modify the spline, you can always right click and add a spline node. You can always do that to make it like really nicely, perfectly aligned. Whenever you see that white dot, you can see this thing. That means there's a hole. So it should touch the landscape always, should be inside landscape always, all the time. Let's push the this sea ocean slightly inside. You can select this. By this time it compiles, we can check all these parameters which is available. You can see I can change the depth, ramp, like how it blends. I can make it super flat and maybe smooth blend. I can modify those things. Depth I can increase. It's not doing, it's like You see, it's increasing the depth basically. Edge, fall off, I can increase, decrease. So make it like soft blend. $1,000. Then we have different blending modes also. Shape also, if you want, you can invert that. And fall off and all this thing, if you want, you can definitely change. You can see, you can change it. Edge offset, see, you can make it soft blending. Offset, you can see, you can make it increase, decrease. All this can be controlled. All this inside this also, you have a lot of options. Noise, curling, blurring, radius you want to blur. All these things are options are there. And this is something you can select each and every node and modify also. Like instead of selecting the entire thing, if you want to select one like anchor point and select that and then modify it, you can do that as well. It's alpha blend, you can make it additive. See, if I make it additive, so that like our that sharp line is gone now. So those you can like see like what you need, minimum, maximum, and additive. Additive is basically a blend of both the things. And it's like a very powerful tool and it gives you very nice water material, and it's like all like nice, it works beautifully. And plus it gives you like underwater post process, this volume also, where you cannot like from after some distance you cannot see, things goes blur, right? So it create those effects also automatically. And if you guys want like any specific issues you guys facing or anything, you can ask me those things also, I'll explain.
Okay, sir.
Let's compile, still compiling, still too much time. We let it compile. Almost compiled. It's compiled. So now I can see it blends nicely here. And here you can see there's a gap, so you have to push them inside. So all those issues will go. If you play, because it's a pretty huge landscape. And you can see the water have movement and everything. See, it blends pretty nicely. You can see underwater also, and the distortion. You can see underwater refractions, like waves and everything is there. That's a very powerful tool, and it gives you like very good quality effect if you want to create some waterfall or maybe a river or maybe sea or maybe a island. So you can see all there, a lot of presets are there. So now suppose you want to create a river here, I can just drag drop this here and align it, and then same thing, push it and push it like this, then push it down also. See, it will create this effect, this entire river thing. Same, this was this fall off and everything have like all this detail. So this two surfaces should be similar. Just like waterfall, this thing river I can create. Similarly, you can see there's something called island. You can drag drop and place it. But this island, to work this, you need to have this water inside, then only it will work. You can see it basically extend this section. See, if I keep it here, you need to have island, so it will automatically generate that section. If you want to push it up, you can do all those things. You can change the shape the way you want. Right click at a spline point, looks like boomerang. You could create your own shape and everything. Maybe connected to the main island like this. Some shape or something you want to create, you can generate those things very easily. You can blend everything and generate. So it makes your life way easier for, like, you see all those open world games, right? So this is how they create everything, and they define all the areas, and we generate everything like this. It's compiling these materials basically. This is a really powerful tool. When you are creating some exterior scene or something, that time we can definitely use it and create something really nice. So this is like it's already there in Unreal. So you can try it out, check this thing out, and this is like really powerful tool. You can create really amazing stuff with this. You can create a landscape and all. Like you can suppose you want to create a pond or something. You can use this and create those things very easily. There's one more thing is there, lake. See, so there is an island, and there's a lake, and that I can see that island will not crop. Reason that island is supposed to be full solid, right? So you cannot do that. You want to create a water body, you can definitely use it and create this thing. And all this fall off and all you can control with this. See, I change width and all, it becomes a little soft. Fall off angle, I can increase, decrease. Width, I can increase. See, it makes everything smooth. So all the parameters are here. Everything is already ready. You just have to tweak it. And this thing is not working because we very need to river. Because river thing I haven't tweaked. Edge offset and all these things I can change, make it really smooth. See, depth and all, width, all this thing I can control and change and create something really nice. And then let's see, I guess I have, where is my tropical forest? Tropical jungle. Foliage. So like usually you have this kind of palm and all. Select all three. Suppose I want to generate this. Same thing. I'll go to modes, foliage, and just simply drag drop them here. Select all three, activate them. Minimum, maximum. This thing I can modify and work on it. All right. Oh, it's generating. It's very small. So maybe 2 by 2 and 5. Density I can increase. Then then I can create little denser. Then I can exit this, go to select mode, play. You can see those things are compiled and still compiling, so it's taking a little time. You can see It looks pretty nice. That lake, see? So you can go underwater also. It gives you that depth of field. Like this, you can generate really nice landscape for your like for some cinematic effect, and to create a really good quality landscapes very easily. And control everything. Yeah, this is what like we can do. Like there's a lot of stuff we can like do. We can check this thing out. There's a lot of stuff is there. So apart from this, there's like something, this Firefly I was searching. Just give me a second. It's here, diorama. So I just place it here so that we see what it's doing. So you can see it generating this effect. So this particle system can be used as a lot of stuff. It can be a firefly, it can be dust particles, it can be falling leaves. You just have to replace the texture and change the directions and all these things, modify. So how do we create this? Like maybe in industry you don't have to create this thing ever, but you should, if you know this, if you want to create a scene and make it look beautiful and add some interesting effect, so you can use all this effect and you can manipulate also. So because for manipulating also you need to understand how it works. So let's see. So what you do is, let's see, GA202, where is it? So to create this, to create this, it's pretty simple. It's not very complicated. Right click, create a particle system. Like we create material, we create level, blueprint. Similarly, we create particle system. Click on this, name it as Firefly. Because this Firefly is the easiest one. It's very simple. If you understand this, it becomes very easy and it's a basics. So double click and open it. So you open, you see it's empty. Uh, it's basically GPU sprite sheets. So it's basically, you can see it's empty. Nothing is happening here. The reason nothing is happening because you need to convert this into GPU sprite. So click here, right click, and then you go to data type, new GPU sprites. Click on this, it convert this thing into a GPU sprite sheet now. So like now we can this is become a GPU sprite sheet. So this is what you have to do. After this, required is basically this is minimum requirement. So there is something called a material. Like suppose I want to create fireflies. So fireflies usually from a distance you can see it's like round orbs, round circle glowing. That's what you see. You really can't see the insect. So instead of that, so it's basically alpha texture. If I show you to right click, create a material, firefly, mat underscore firefly. Double click, open. It's an empty material, nothing is there. So the firefly, if you see here, because it's like generating and it's going away, right? So to how do we do that? We just reduce the lifetime, and plus we create a material that glows, and that glow should be blinking. It's not just like one constant color. It's not one constant color. You can see it will start glowing and then it will become little subtle. So how do we do it? With the help of emissive. So to connect emissive, I need a color first, right? So I need a color. So press 3 from keyboard and left mouse button, your color parameter. right click, convert to parameter and name it color. That's it. Color, and then change the color, whatever color you need, little orangish. Create the color. So this is my emissive color. So but this color is blinking. So how do I do it? For doing that, I need to add sign. Sign is basically, if you remember in school in algebra, you have studied it, sine theta, cos theta, tan theta. So it's that sign. Sign is basically, or it basically shifts from 0 to 1. So 0 means black, 1 means white. So right click, search for a sign, connect this. No, not this one. Sorry, right. Break it, sign, and now this sign is basically moving from 0 to 1. But how do I control it? With the help of a time. Right click, time, time, and connect this to sign. So I'll show you here like what happens if you connect to base color. So 0 means black and 1 means white. So let's see. It will, because it's still compiling. That's why it's taking a little time. It will give you preview in a moment. Right click, start preview. Still compiling. See, black, white. It's changing automatically. So it's big, it's switching. So this base color basically I don't need. Break it. So I need this color and it should glow. So what I'll do, I'll create a multiply, connect this to B and this color to A. So now this will convert this to preview mode. So if you get confused anywhere, you can always right click and check the preview, what that particular node is doing. But because of this thing only, it's taking so much time. It's taking too much time to compile. Oh, there's one more thing. I need to add one more multiply here so that I can like I can Control this emissiveness, scalar parameter, emissive, connect this to B. Let's make it like 20 or something, make it like glowing, brighter. Stop preview mode. And this thing, this I need this is right now, this texture is rectangular in shape. No matter what you do it, because it generates planes, right? So that all those planes will be fully illuminated. So I want to create a circular alpha. So I can bring circle alpha, a circle shape alpha, or I can generate it within Unreal. uh, Search for a radial, exponential radial exponential gradient, this one. It's basically a gradient, radial gradient. Connect this to opacity. Select this thing and change the surface to translucent. Opacity is active. I believe if I connect this, it will, because going white and black, it might end up in like a glow yellow and then it will turn to black. Okay, that is possible. So what I'll do is I connect it directly and connect this to base color. Delete. Yeah. Very simple, direct, straightforward this thing. Nothing fancy. Save it. Saving. Still saving. Yaar, it's taking way too much time. Yeah, finally. See, it's brighter and this thing started glowing. Close this. Now you can see I have converted this into GPU sprite. So instantly you can see this plus signs are populating. It's nothing, it's empty as of now. I'll go to required. You can see because it's showing that default particle at plus. Now I'll go to my material wherever I just created environment here and apply it here. After applying this, I need to like convert, like this is by default. Let's say spawn count is 20. So 20 is for like, okay, let's see, is fine only. Then we can define the lifetime, means lifetime of one particle, when to start, when to end, that thing. Click on this, and if I want, I can increase. Let's see first this thing. Okay, it's compiling. I'll take attendance only. Vishnu is not there. So after like show you this thing, like from next class, I'll show you how to render out your scene, how to use cinematics, how to use a camera, how to render out a video out of it in Unreal, or how to take a very high quality render, all those things. So it's compiled. See,
Sir,
yes.
for then the final submission, we need to add those like uh, ground and those plants
No, no,
or
no,
like.
no, 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 no. That is just to show you. You should know those things because most probably in next module we'll be using it.
Okay, then we are just going to use Unreal for render.
Huh. Unreal is for render only. Because a game, we are not creating any game, because game, like programmers, they create game. We create the assets for the game, and we just test it out in Unreal, like everything is working fine or not.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so a spawn by default 20 count, so it basically it's generating 20 sprite sheets per second. So you can see it looks like size are all same size and pretty big. So I can control that with the help of a lifetime and size. Lifetime I can define, let's see, 5 and 5. So it will like stay for longer. And so, but still the size are same. So then I'll go to initial size and change the size. Let's see, maximum I can, because overall looks very big. I can make it like 5. So you can see one small big mix. 5, 5 tiny orbs, but still all are same size. Maybe 3, 3, 3. I can create more variation also if I want. I can change this to like I can make it 10, 10, 10, and 2, 2, 2. I can do that also, but you can see the now I have like variation. So maybe let me make it 7, 7, 7. So you can clearly see the variation, size variation. That is something is required. After that, velocity is basically speed, to control the speed of this thing. So what we do, you can see again we have minimum velocity, maximum velocity. So it's again 10. So if I want to make it a little slower, maybe 5, 5, 5. See, it become pretty slow now. So in minimum, same thing, -5, -5, -5. So it's spreading all the direction and slowly, and you can see it's generating and it's going away also. So now what we can do is we need to take the color. Like color is basically for color. If you want to change the color or something, your all over the life, like entire life, like the time 5 seconds you gave it to that particular sprite sheet. So if you want to change it to red to green, red to blue or something, so you can change those things. But in this case, we did need this, so I'll just simply delete this. Right click. Now I need to set a location, like where to generate. So like go to location and initial location seed. I can select this and then I can modify things here, same thing. So where to generate. So let's see, because it's right now it's everything is concentrated here. So let's make it like 500, 500, 500 all over the place. Similarly, if I want, I can make it -500 also. So everything is random. I can do that, or I can keep it 0, 0, 0 also. That also fine, but this will generate things nicely. I'll do this, but right now still you can see it creating clusters of this thing, clusters of like all those fireflies. So what I have to do is I have to add some rotation to it. So it rotates all the randomly rotate here and there. Right click, rotation, add an initial rotation, and then add your rotation wherever you want to add. Maybe let's see 10 and 20. So you can see I can modify these things very easily. Looks too much. 5, maybe 10. You can modify these things, and then this to where still you see still creating those clusters, but it's rotating. But if I want to spread this all over the place, what I have to do is I have to add a shape here. Where is my location? Sphere. So I created a sphere basically, and it's populating that scene, that area randomly. So let's see, spawn 20 lifetime distance initial size. Let's keep it small only. Because it was too big, it's noticeably big, so I just reduced it. So now you can see it's generating this random. That's it, done. Save. This is what we created, but this is not required. Save this thing, Firefly, drag and drop it here. G, delete this one. Let's see, G can generate like this fireflies very easily. So similarly, we can create those landscape fireflies, like some falling leaves we want. So suppose I want to create a falling leaf. So basically, what I have to do here is the direction and all this thing have added here, right? In lifetime size. So I can change one direction required XYZ. So and this material change with the alpha of leaf, then velocity 555 all the direction. So I want only one direction, Z direction. So I'll just simply make it 0 0 0 0 0. Make it 0, then speed it's 0 0. So in one direction, and velocity let's make it like 600. So it's going plus direction. So if I want to make it fall down, minus 600, like this. Basically this is like a same exact same thing. It just you need to manipulate all these parameters and tweak it, and based on whatever you want you can create that thing. So you can see if you go here, see it's falling here. So it can be some spark you are creating, some where this thing, so you can generate those stuff very easily and create this kind of details, some particles or something falling and all this thing can generate like this. It's pretty simple. It just like just take it out. With the help of this, like or you can go to marketplace. They have a lot of presets available free of cost to download. You can download those things, then we can use those things in our scene and beautify our scene and create a nice render. So in next class I'll show you how to render it out with camera, with how to create a camera animation within your scene, and how to create how to use multiple cameras and create one entire scene. Cut scenes and all, how to do it. So all those things I'll explain, because that is basically part of rendering. Because like what you create a scene in Unreal, after that what, how do you showcase it? Because so showcasing you need to render it out. So like suppose I open my file, don't see this one. So I was placing something. So suppose I want to render it out. So I won't take a screenshot. Like a screenshot is useless. If you take a screenshot, it won't give you very good quality render depending upon your screen resolution. But if I want to render this thing out, like image, like a video is a different process entirely. Suppose I want to render an image, I'll go to this tab, and there's something called high resolution screenshot. Click on this, you can increase the multiplier like 2, 3, 4. depending. So what multiply by whatever the screen size, multiply by 3 times the screen resolution. And plus it gives you different resolution based on, suppose this is a screen, if you press F11 it will become full screen. So now I want to render this thing out. Click this, it will render and give you a path here. Click this and it will open a folder, so you can see all my previous renders here. F11 for exiting full screen, and you can see like all these things I took screenshots. So you can see I can use depth of field, all the camera focal length, I could play around and create it, just like experiment what you want to create. You have to check everything, bake lighting, how to modify things, change things. So you can see rendered out, and this is only 29% of the resolution. If you zoom in, this is almost like 100%. So better the bigger the resolution and better the quality. So like this we can generate really high quality render very easily. And still I have to like for this scene I have to bake light so that I get shadow. Right now there is no shadow, so those shadow I have to generate. So once you're done with your entire lighting and scene, once you're done with this, I have to build I have to click on this build, and light quality will keep it like medium or high. Production takes way too long. So I'll medium or high and then build it. Once the lighting is done, then I'll hit build. It will take like maybe 1 hour or something to build the lighting and generate, and gives you generate all the shadow, and everything, and it will look really nice. Because right now there's no ambient occlusion. You can see it's all texture. I don't have any shadow here, I don't have any ambient occlusion here. So those things it will generate automatically once you hit build. So after doing that, we'll create this thing. Once happy, it takes time. So like whenever you are done with it, then only click it. Otherwise, don't click it. Otherwise, it will take it will hang your system. You cannot do anything that time. Or maybe night you can click it and like leave it for 2 hours and then check it. So it will generate all the details, and then all shadow or everything it will generate, and it will look really nice. We'll do that, and I close all this thing. Okay, so then I'll next class I'll explain how to take a video render, very good quality video, how to take a video render, because if it's a video, it will look really nice, because in that I can see all this, my particle system and all these things are moving. Otherwise, it won't be visible. Ambient dust, see, it's too big. See, I can increase, decrease, those things also can be done. And I can increase the size of this thing, bounding box, so it will affect the entire scene. Right now it's affecting only this area, so I have to modify that particle system and do it. So okay, we'll do that, and I'll like next class we'll do the video. Okay, so practice this and finish your stuff. If you're having any doubts or any problem, get back to me, I'll solve it. So until unless you tell me like any problem or any issue, I really can't help you out and solve those problems. So do that, and then we'll create everything nicely. Okay. Okay, I am at the class now. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Welcome.